Week 2 NFL picks on Drew and Stu Pick'em, brought to you by Spark and SDPN. We are going to look back on week number 1 and how those picks went. It was an interesting week number 1 of the NFL season. Then we're going to do week number 2 picks with 30 seconds on the clock for every single pick. But first, if you are making your bets this weekend, make them with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Because if you're a new customer and you sign up, you are going to get $200 in bonus bets after you make your first $5 bet. Plus, score over $200 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. You download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SDPN. That's code SDPN, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer. Before we do our picks for week number 2, let's just take a quick look back on week number 1. I went 7-9 against the spread in week number 1. I got 10 points because I did get my silver pick correct, which was the San Francisco 49ers, where I got plus 2 points for that's a silver pick, and then I got plus 1 point for getting my bronze pick right of the Buffalo Bills. And that pick did not look good until about 3 minutes left in the game when that whole comeback started, that 40-25 comeback at the end there with less than 4 minutes to go. Unbelievable game out of the Bills and the Ravens. And then my biggest whiff of the week was believing in the Miami Dolphins. I should have listened to everybody that said the Dolphins did not have it this year, because they clearly do not have it. That was my gold pick, because I was like, I'm going to zag on the team with the most negative energy around them. Their fans think they suck. The media thinks they suck. I'm going to pick them to win week 1. They're going to surprise everybody. And boy, I should have listened. I was so wrong about that, so I whiffed on my gold pick there. But I did end up with 10 points on the week. One other thing from week 1, I switched last minute from the Vikings to the Bears in the Monday night game. I thought about it all day, and I was like, you know what? I believe in the Bears. They can get these plus 2 points and cover. They looked like they had it for the majority of that game on Monday night, and then Caleb Williams turned into Caleb Williams, and the Vikings stormed back, and they ended up winning that game by 3 points. The Chicago Bears barely don't cover that plus 2 spread. So I definitely shouldn't have switched my pick last minute from the Vikings to the Bears. So I ended up going 7-9 instead of 8-8. So where does my 10 points for week number 1 rank on the leaderboard on Spark on the Drew and Stu Pick'em? Khalil, Jonas, Miroslav, Sam, Blair, Robert, Noah, Malcolm, and Terrence round up the top 5. David as well. That is 20 points on the week for Khalil. He leads the entire SDPN Spark Drew and Stu Pick'em leaderboard. Then we got me in 172nd with 10 points. I am, however, second amongst people who work for SDPN. Cam is on the leaderboard at 46th place. He has 13 points. That's a good week from Cam. 46th overall. I'm next at 172. Then we got Drew, who had 9 points at 234. Steve with 8 points at 296, and then Adam Wild coming in last with 7 points in 336. That is where I sit right now on the SDPN Spark Drew and Stu Pick'em. Let's get this thing going with the Commanders and Packers on Thursday. That's the Thursday night game. The Packers impressed me so much against the Lions. I'm still a believer in the Lions, and the Packers just went to town on them, destroying them in every facet of the game. I'm going to say I believed in what I saw week 1 out of the Packers. I think they hold up in week number 2, and they get this win -4 against the Commanders. Next up, the Bills. I have the Bills checked off here because I think this is an easy win over the Jets. They're -7 on the spread. I think they cover this. The Jets were great against the Steelers. I don't think that continues. I think the Jets defense was poor against the Steelers, and I think Justin Fields comes back down to earth against the Bills here. I think the Bills take care of business. They cover this -7 spread, which is quite a bit, but I think they do it. Next up, Lions, Bears. I'm going with the Lions because this one is a more of, I trusted you, Chicago, and you let me down. Week 2, I'm not picking you again. It's not smart here to pick Caleb Williams again in this situation against a team that on paper is better than them, and I expect the Lions to show up in how they didn't show up against the Packers. I expect the Lions to be the Lions again. I'm waiting for it to happen. I don't think losing Ben Johnson should destroy their team, so I'm going Lions -4 against the Chicago Bears. Next up, the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens are playing, and the spread is -13.5. That is a ridiculous spread. I don't think teams usually cover spreads this large, but it's the Ravens and the Browns. The Browns should have beat the Bengals, but they're the Browns. They can't win those games. Do we go favorites again? Let's go Cleveland +13.5, and then if we need to switch it midweek, we might, but I think we cover that. An NFL team shouldn't be favored -13.5 and cover. I think the Browns can at least get this thing within 13.5 points. Jags, Bengals, give me the Bengals. The offense needs to show up. How about week 2, Zach Taylor? How about week 2? So I'm going to take the Bengals, and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase actually start playing football this week. So I'm going to go, they light it up against the Jags at home. It's a win. They cover that -3.5. Next up, the Los Angeles Rams and the Tennessee Titans. I got the Rams jersey behind me. I'm sticking with my Los Angeles Rams. The Titans made it close against the Broncos briefly there in the first half and kind of throughout that game, but the Titans offense is such a disaster. They cannot move the ball at all. I think the Rams are still healthy enough to get this thing done. Who knows if that's going to hold up for this season, but I think healthy enough right now, the Rams can do this thing at -5 against the Titans. Dolphins. I will not pick the Dolphins here. They are -1.5 against the Patriots. I'm going to go with the Patriots, even though the Patriots have struggled to score points as of the last couple of years. They've gone years without putting up a lot of points on the board, but the Dolphins are bad. I will admit the Dolphins are bad, and I will never pick the Dolphins again for the rest of the year until they prove to me that they are not bad and that Tua can actually be a competent quarterback. I will continually pick against the Miami Dolphins based on what I've seen so far, which is just one game. Let's not overreact, but based on one game, they could be one of the worst teams in the National Football League. Next up, the Cowboys and Giants, and the Cowboys looked really good against the Eagles. And if that lightning storm doesn't happen, maybe the momentum's still with the Cowboys and they're able to score again, and maybe CD's able to catch a ball and the Cowboys win that game. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. A lot of favorites I've picked so far. I believe that the Patriots, I got the Patriots and Browns as my only underdogs so far. The Bengals, I'm actually going to do this right now, make them my gold pick. So we'll go to the top, make the Bengals my gold pick. I think that's an easy one. I think a lot of people will have that as their gold pick. And right now, the Lions are going to be my silver pick, -4.5, even though that spread scares me a little. Next up, the Seattle Seahawks against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh, I'll admit it, Aaron Rodgers and that offense looked really good, but that offense was playing the New York Jets. So how much can we take away from the Jets and Pittsburgh Steelers game when, if it's not for just a fumble on a kickoff, I believe it's kickoff or punt return, the Steelers would have lost that game. The Steelers barely beat the Jets. Let's go Seahawks underdogs against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are at home. And I think right now with Sam Darnold, they have a decent team and they're good enough to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers here in week 2, +2.5. This is a tough one. This is a hard game to predict here. What is it? 5 days still to go. 49ers Saints. 49ers are -6. Saints are +6 on the board. 49ers have a ton of injuries. Mac Jones might be starting this game. Picking this right now, -6, is really hard because I don't know who's going to play. We know George Kittle isn't playing. Christian McCaffrey is on the field, though, so I'm going to go with the team that has Christian McCaffrey, even though here at -6, I'm selecting a Mac Jones, most likely offense here. 49ers -6 over the Saints. Carolina, not great week 1 against the Jags. Bryce Young hype needs to chill a little. I think that hype machine is dying down. I don't know if the Carolina Panthers are going to win even a handful of games this year. So I'm going to select the Cardinals here to cover this spread -7. Next up, this one's the Broncos -2.5 against the Colts. And this one, I don't know how to evaluate a Colts team that looks so good against the Dolphins because Daniel Jones was their quarterback and it's the Dolphins. It's hard to know how real it was that they went out 7 for 7 on possessions they scored in that game against the Dolphins. Nobody's done that since 1992, and the Colts did it. But the Broncos look terrible, and we can expect them to not look terrible in week 2. So I'm going to go Broncos -2.5 over the Colts. Eagles, Chiefs, give me the Eagles. Chiefs slow down. They don't have a good season. This is the Chiefs slowdown year where we're like, what's happening to the Chiefs? They get into the playoffs. Broncos win that division, but I think this is a step back year in the regular season for the Chiefs. They start off 0-2. People are scared, and they eventually make the playoffs, but it's a rough year. In the regular season for the Chiefs, the playoffs are a whole different animal. They just sneak in. I think they get into the playoffs, but they got to play all the rounds. They don't get the bye or anything like that. Eagles are going to be humming. They cover this -1 over the Chiefs, and they win this game. Falcons, Vikings. This one to me is real prime for a dog to win it. JJ McCarthy in his debut looked great in that second half, had a fantastic second half, but I'm a believer in this Falcons offense that's just slinging the ball up and down the field. Like, air it out, Falcons. They play a fun style of football. Kyle Pitts caught some passes. Like, what? For your fantasy team? That is fantastic. So I'm going to go Falcons underdog +3.5 over the Minnesota Vikings. I can't believe that's the Sunday night game in week 2. They could have, no offense, Falcons and Vikings fans, they could have scheduled that a little better for a week 2 Sunday night, but that is what we got on the schedule. And then we got 2 Monday night games next week. We got the Bucks +2, Texans -2. I'm going to go with another underdog here. I'm going to take the Buccaneers, who are one of the more underrated teams in the league year in, year out. They're very consistently good, and Baker Mayfield is always good, and they don't get that respect they deserve. So I'm going to take them +2 here over the Texans, who did not have the best week there. We mentioned the Rams, how they won week number 1. It was against this Texans team who only put up 9 points. Not great for their offense. Nico Collins is out there just not getting passes and just doing a bunch of cardio. Feel bad for them in that offense, but we'll see what happens with Stroud versus Mayfield. I have +2 Buccaneers winning that game. Lastly, Chargers, Raiders, -3.5 Chargers over the Raiders. I think we have a, hey, chill on the Chargers hype game here. Raiders do something special with Geno Smith under center. They are home dogs. You know how much I love a home dog. I'm going to take the Raiders. Maybe on Monday night, just like with the Vikings and Bears, I switch it last minute, but I'm sitting here 6 days away from this game. Feels like a good home dog win it. Monday night, second leg of the doubleheader. Justin Herbert had a great week 1. Everybody's buying into the hype. And then week 2, we got a little Geno Smith magic. So that's what I got on my slate for week number 2, the Drew and Stu Pick'em against the spread. My bronze pick needs to be made. So far, I have Bengals and Lions as my gold and silver. I know what it is. I am believing in Jerry Jones and them Cowboys. That is going to be my bronze pick of the week. It'll be the Cowboys -5 over the New York Giants. That is what is on my card for the week. Let me know what is on yours in the YouTube comments on the Jesse Blake Sports Report YouTube channel. Sign up. It is not too late to play along all season long on the Drew and Stu Pick'em, brought to you by Spark and SDPN. I would love to know where you are on the leaderboard. Drop that in the comments too. I can pull them up next week when I do my week 3 picks, and we can talk about where you are if you go back and you leave your comments with where you landed at the end of each week. So we will do that. Hit like, hit subscribe on the channel as well. Thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but chose to be watching or listening right now, and I appreciate you for that. Good night from Toronto.